Hey all, uh, hello, welcome to Hyderabad Power Platform User Group, and this is our April 2025 meetup. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to be with us here today, and that too, especially on a Saturday. So, thank you so much for taking the time. As part of this meetup today, we have two amazing speakers with us. One is Senthamil Selvan, and he's going to talk about AI Unleashed, the foundry and studio shaping tomorrow's creativity. The second speaker for the day is Abhilekh Verma, and he's going to talk about advanced Microsoft 365 mastery, elevate your productivity. So, as you may have already heard about the buzz of Microsoft Copilot, Copilot Studio, and how it can help you build different solutions and be it a small one or even a enterprise level grade application. So the two speakers we have with us today are both Microsoft MVPs, and they will share how you can build these applications using AI in a much smarter way. So, hey Senthamil, first of all, welcome, and how are you?
Hey, thank you, Ritika. So thanks for having me on the Hyderabad user group. I'm so excited to speak about the AI today.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, so that's how
Thank
uh,
you so
I'm going.
much for coming here. Yeah. Okay. So, do you want to share your screen, Senthamil?
Yeah, I'll start sharing my screen
Okay.
and let's start projecting my screen. Okay, share. You guys can able to see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, I'll put it in the slideshare mode. Okay, let's start.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you again. So today my session is about the AI Unleashed, especially about the Copilot Studio and the AI Foundry. I would go through scenarios on when to use which one to on the AI landscape. Also, I would give a brief about the AI landscape and within the Microsoft platform to start with. Just a brief about myself. I'm a Microsoft MEP on the Azure now. I'm doing more of Azure plus the Power Platform for my business. And I'm based on Singapore, and you can see my blog as well as my Twitter or the X, and also my YouTube channel. So if you're interested, then subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do more on the Copilot Studio and AI Foundry, and do some test automation using the Azure Playwright, and do some Power Platform with Power Automate. So today I have a small or a short agenda for the AI. So now we are overwhelmed with AI technologies these days, especially from Microsoft. My session would be completely towards the Microsoft platform. There are other AI platforms as well outside, but my session will be focusing more on the Microsoft platform side. So first we will cover about the Microsoft AI landscape. So right now Microsoft has added several AI and the Copilot within the Microsoft platform. So we go through those landscape and decide on what is your role within the landscape and what are the things you can do to boost up your career. Second, I would go through the Copilot. There are so many varieties of Copilot within Microsoft. I would just give a brief about what are the Copilots which are available so that you are aware of the Copilot technologies within Microsoft. And we do some deep dive on Copilot Studio. I don't want to do more of a development or the technical into Copilot Studio because there are several resources available out there. I just want to give just some unique features or speak about some uniqueness about the Copilot Studio, which helps you to decide when to use Copilot Studio and when to use the Azure AI Foundry. Also, the same as in the Azure AI Foundry, I will just go through the basics first. then give you more idea about what you can do in the AI Foundry. And finally, the most controversial topic is about the licensing. Um, Microsoft keep changing the licensing format. The one which I am going to present today is about a week old, not weeks, week old. Probably by then Microsoft might have changed something. So the licensing is like evolving one. Probably it might not be very accurate, but at least it gives you a sense of how the licensing within the Copilot and the Azure Foundry works. And finally, I'll just show one demo on the Copilot Studio and one demo from the Azure AI Foundry, which helps you to identify which one is better for your business or your use cases. So speaking about the Azure AI landscape, this is a very old slide which most of the time people are I used to use speak about the landscape within the Microsoft AI. Microsoft has been doing AI for a long time. You can see here the AI starts with the ML platform. We should read from bottom to top. This slide is more of like reading from top to bottom. Sorry, bottom to top. So bottom you can see that Azure machine learning is the base for everything. AI started with the machine learning algorithms or the models. So when the machine learning was introduced and those models and the data science tools were introduced into Azure, people were most of the people who were hired were the data scientists. Developers don't have much of a knowledge into the Azure machine learning. Why? Because mostly it was a models and there was an R programming involved, and it's more kind of a mathematical and probability. So you should be mastering the mathematics and probability. So the data science were grabbing up all the roles and careers at that time. Then Azure machine learning become more matured, and Microsoft itself started adding more and more predefined models catered only to a specific areas. And you can see vision, speech. So you can see here vision, speech, language, decision, and the OpenAI services. So those are all started to come into the platform. So these are the one which are added into Microsoft platform. So at that time, it still become like an API. Again, you should know something about the models. You cannot skip the models at that time. You should have some basic understanding about the models, algorithms, and the probabilities. Then you can make use of these options here. And the third, Microsoft started adding more and more refined models particular to a specific region. Then you would see the bot service, cognitive services, video indexer, and others. And again, it is again API. Data scientists plus the developer started sharing the space. So this also has become much easier. So if you want to create your chatbot, you can directly use your bot service and instantiate the chatbot and started integrating your cognitive services and other indexing services to make use of picture, video, and the existing models. This opens up door to the developers more, but still there are few people who doesn't understand the AI, but still they don't want to add the AI. Then comes the Power Platform. So Power Platform makes the people much easier to code, low code, no code solution, especially for Power Apps for creating an app and Power Automate for creating an automate. Then Microsoft started adding more and more AI on top of it. Power Virtual Agent was the previous name or the old name for the Copilot Studio. Now it is renamed as Copilot Studio and added more and more feature on top of it. So at that time, it was more of a chatbot. You can directly create a chatbot with Power Virtual Agent, and you can start integrating your all the services within the platform. Also, Microsoft added default models, which are AI models, predefined models, which are already there to make use of, especially the document processing, invoice processing, receipt processing. Those models were pre-built. You don't have to do any additional steps. Just upload 10, 20 documents to train the document. Then you specify the region, what are the details you want to extract from the document. Then it does a very good job on top of it. So now what happens is that apart from a developer, a business user who knows about the process, or a finance manager who knows more about the finance module can easily start using AI. without even knowing about models, programming, and other stuff. So that's the main objective of having the Power Platform solutions. Then on top of it, Microsoft integrated with the solutions with the Dynamics and M365 so that even more business people can start using AI, especially M365 Copilot. You can create a document using AI and summarize a document, create a PowerPoint for a sales pitch. So all these are integrated within M365 and Dynamics. So you are using AI without even knowing what is the model, what is the algorithm. So you don't have to worry about anything. You should be much familiar with the prompts. That's it. Then you can start using the AI. So this is how the AI landscape has been evolved in Microsoft within. And on the right side, you can clearly see the target audience. So it started with the data scientist, then moved into developer, then now anyone can do the AI. So that's how the main objective of services. Okay, so the Copilot next. Everyone was speaking about Copilot. So I want to have a clarity about what is Copilot or how does it aligns in. So the first thing about Copilot is that there are several varieties of Copilot from Microsoft available. I want to break down few of them and in a different perspective. One from the technology perspective, and another from core interior product perspective. So first one, when you see there is an M365 Copilot, which is available now. You can buy it. Uh, Also, it comes as free along with your E3 or E5 licenses with a minimal usage, and you can make use of your Copilot. So M365 Copilot is nothing but it integrates with Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and Teams and Outlook. So the feature of these Copilot has you can see as it basically depends on the product which you are using in. If you are using it within Word, you can summarize a document, create a document, and resume, application, invoice, or whatever you want to do within the Word, you can use a Copilot for it. Excel, it will help you to do complex calculations, write a macro, so it helps you to do whatever the operations you're doing in Excel. PowerPoint again, you can create a simple PowerPoint just by uploading your uh, existing requirement document. Example, if you want to create a nicer solution approach document for existing requirement, you just upload a requirement to the uh, PowerPoint and then start ask your Copilot to create a simple PowerPoint. So it will automatically create a PowerPoint.
Hey Senthamil, are you there?
Yes. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Senthamil, can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear
Oh,
you.
I think your audio dropped for a second.
Now is it clear?
Yeah, now it is better.
Okay. Something. Okay.
Oh, yep.
Uh,
Please continue.
okay. So from M365. So M365 Copilot, it comes with the Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and you can do more of a stuff with the Word, Excel, and the PowerPoint. With the PowerPoint, you can upload an existing document which you have the requirement, then it automatically creates the full slides of all the solutions. For Outlook, it can summarize your email, and for the Teams, it can be a proxy for you. Or if you are double booked in a certain meeting within the Teams meeting, and if you could not attend certain meeting, you can just get the summary of the meeting, including your action items and the your colleagues' action item along with that. So it will summarize everything. And one other best features of these M365 Copilot is that along all the platform, it can do auto translate as well. It's likely about 80 to 80 percentage of the translation it can do. But again, still you should go through it to make sure it is perfect. Especially when you are in a Teams meeting with multiple languages, then you can easily summarize the Teams meeting with your own language, which is English maybe. And in Outlook, it can summarize the email even with English. And in the PowerPoint, you can have a master PowerPoint with English and keep on generating a duplicate PowerPoint with other languages so that your master PowerPoint is in PPT. Every time when the master PowerPoint changes, then you can ask Copilot to sync with your master PowerPoint to multiple languages. It can do several slides. and it can also completely change your slide to a different language. So those are the new features which are coming up in M365 Copilot. So next is about the Power Platform Copilot. So again, within the Power Platform, there are Copilot which are available to help you create Power Apps, as well as the Power Automate and the Power BI. So if you know the business process, you can just give a prompt to the Power Automate Copilot, and it will automatically create you all the uh, flow automatically for you. It may not be 100% accurate. You have to be very precise in your prompt, and it creates around about 80 to 90 percentage of the actions within the Power Automate. And obviously, you have to go back to actions and check everything is in order. Okay, I use it for a simple Power Automate process. It works well. For a complex process, obviously, you will have to use multiple prompts or keep on adding more and more. Next one is the Bing Copilot, which is my favorite. Basically, we call it as just a Copilot, not the Bing Copilot, because Copilot started with Bing Copilot. Microsoft started the Copilot with Bing Copilot. That was the first product which they started to release in, which is nothing but the Bing search, so which is an enhanced search. So now Copilot, I use it every day almost. Any questions or anything which I want to search, Copilot is my buddy. So it adds more and more value. Also, later I go through why I use the Copilot, not the Gemini or other ChatGPT even, because Copilot gives you reward. Every time when you search, you get a reward. So you can redeem the reward. Later I have a slide. I'll go through when you keep searching what you get. And the fourth one is the GitHub Copilot. This also is my one of the favorite one. Most of the time, it saves my programming time. Like I used to do C# programming plus TypeScript programming, and sometimes the Python for AI. Um, I'm not a person for the Python, but still I could be able to do Python programming with just Copilot, GitHub Copilot Pro. For MVPs, we get a free Pro licenses. I can use it, but I suggest to, if you're a real hardcore programmer, this is a must one you should have Copilot, GitHub Copilot. Uh, why? Because it saves lots of your time on programming and testing the program. When I was doing TypeScript programming for uh, Azure Playwright, I mean, it completely programs for me. So what I do is that I just orchestrate the functions, when to call the functions and how to execute, and then just test it out. So it saves almost like much time of programming. And the last one is about the D365 Copilot. It integrates with the Dynamics, and Microsoft is keep adding on more and more Copilot along with that, especially for sales and the customer support. And when the customer support comes in, it becomes like an agent available, automatically integrated with your D365 CRM. Then all your support ticket and everything it knows very well. So it can query the support ticket, answers the query. So it can do more activities along with it, but it comes with a cost. Then the list of co-pilots based on the category within the Microsoft. Microsoft has their own category within their product cycle. So there are a list of co-pilots which are available within their product life cycle or the categories. So you can see here modern work, whatever I mentioned, that comes under the modern work, which is the Bing Copilot, Windows Copilot, or the Microsoft 365 Copilot. Business application, the Power Platform, Viva, and the D365. Digital innovation, GitHub, data and AI, Power BI, and there is a security Copilot as well. The whole of M365 security or any Azure AAD security within, it comes with Copilot. It tells you clearly what is the security implication, compliances. So it goes through everything and tells you what are the compliances you should enable within your organization based on the policies or the compliances you want to enable on. So it's a quite a lot of copilots which are available already in the within the Microsoft space. The next is about the M365 or the Copilot architecture. This one is slightly a bit old slide. You would see it everywhere within the Microsoft space. You should know about it. Why? Because you should, at one point, you should know how a Copilot can get the data so that you make sure that your set data is safe, or how does it knows what data is within your organization, and how does it communicate, and how does it goes through so all those processes. So basically, if you see here, okay. So basically, if you see here, if someone enters the prompt here, the user enters the prompt, Copilot will get it, and what it does is it tries to understand what is your prompt and does the grounding. Grounding meaning that it tries to contextualize your prompt. So the user prompt which you send, it tries to understand what you are trying to ask, or what you are trying to look for. So it does the grounding. Once it does the grounding, it knows that what is the type of information you need to, the Copilot need to get it from. So it directly goes to your Microsoft Graph here. So basically, the Graph, Microsoft Graph is nothing but the central platform where all your M365 data can be queried. So the Microsoft Graph, it has its own tenant. So within the tenant, it can query everything within the Microsoft Graph. So that's how it goes in the Microsoft Graph. Then the Microsoft Graph can query the data which you are looking for. And once the data has been retrieved, the data goes to your LLM for more of uh, to create a generative AI, which uses the model to create a response. So once the LLM, the model has been processing and it generates a response, then it doesn't throw up the value immediately. So what it does is it does all the compliances as well. That's how the Microsoft M365 compliance and the purview comes in. So initially, when Microsoft was releasing the Copilot, it was a bit of not tightly integrated with the security, but now it is a kind of responsive AI. That's why it is called the RAI. Responsive AI, what it does is it will not answer for any nonsensical questions. So it tries to reply to you in a polite way, not rude, and mask out all the texts which are not which are kind of rude to the people. So it does all those things within the compliance purview. It knows what type of data to be shown to the user. So all these are applied, and finally it returns you the data at the step 5. So that's where you get the information out of M365 Copilot or any Copilot within. Graph API is the backbone for querying the data, including Teams, Outlook, Excel, Word. So everything can be queried through Graph API. Okay. So that's how it works. And Azure is the backbone for AAD for security, and the OpenAI runs within the Azure. So they use the Azure OpenAI. Basically, Azure OpenAI is nothing but it is the central platform which hosts all the OpenAI models within. Okay. So next is about AI landscape based on the technologies. So last time, in the last slide, I have shown you how the AI landscape is based on the roles or the carrier. Now it is more of what you can do based on the roles and the product which you have. So there is a key product which is the Microsoft Copilot, which is Microsoft Copilot 365 tightly integrates with the M365. So for that, who are all the target audience, or what type of people can use that Microsoft 365 Copilot? That's the uh, first slide which you see here. This is the first component which you see here. The role, who are all the roles who can use the M365 Copilot and fits for the knowledge workers, managers, and the team leads. So especially the people who are at the front desk working on admin, the knowledge worker manager who wants to use the Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, and the Outlook. Those people can leverage M365 Copilot. And the scenarios, if you can see here, the people who want to create a document, want to do some mild data analysis, and want to increase their meeting productivity and the customer communication. So those people who are already using their Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and Teams, it is for that. So M365 is Copilot is completely for them. And the next one is about the Copilot Studio. So the Copilot Studio, it is for the IT admin, developers, and the business process owners. So the business process owners who knows about the process, who want to automate it, but uh, they don't want to engage more of a developer so that they can keep using their own business process. In that scenario, they can use the Copilot Studio. And the scenarios where you can use the Copilot Studio, custom AI agents, like you want to create your own chatbot within your organization and publish it to teams. It's easy for you to create one. And all the data uh, can be consumed from SharePoint or Excel or your PDF, simple PDF. So if you already have your knowledge source anywhere, you just link it to Copilot Studio and just build a agent, then just publish it to teams. Anyone can use it within your organization. Also, the knowledge management, which I mentioned you, easy to create FAQ. So assume HR can just create their own FAQ and then just publish it to teams. So similarly for employee assistance. So it's more for people who wants to just use a light uh, copilot or the agent to orchestrate and do the business process, or create a simple application and publish it to the organization. Next is the core AI. Basically, the Azure AI Foundry is intense AI programming. If you want to do your custom model and you want to try out different models in your scenarios and try out how the model performs, you want to refine the model and the prompt, and you want to do complex operations within the AI, and you have your own set of data engineers or the data scientist within who knows more about the models and want to deploy the custom models within your organization and create your complex agents, then this is for you and for the development. So it is primarily targeted for the developer, data scientist, and the AI engineers. So most of the time, the developer will create the Python code and or the Node.js or any technology which they are aware of, and create a custom model with the data scientist and publish it in Azure to make use of it. So most of the time the scenarios would be like AI model development, meaning as I mentioned you, custom model within your organization, and generative AI applications. You want to do some complex content generation and content analysis. Then in that case, it would apply. And you want to develop an enterprise AI agent which integrates with multiple complex data sources within your organization. Then you can create your own connector, then connect it to your existing system, do your own grounding, and then RAI, so those kind of scenarios. And finally, the data insight as well, a large data set to do the AI future forecasting and other stuff. Okay, so now we come into the licensing. So the licensing part, you can see here. First, we start with the M365. So M365 licensing, if you see, there is a free license of M365 Copilot. But this M365 Copilot that comes free along with E3, E5 licenses are just kind of a chat Copilot. It doesn't do, it cannot create a document or PPT. It just searches within your M365 and then gives you or suggests you best way to create a document, best way to use all those suggestions. But it will not do sales pitch, PPT or other stuff. It is just a chat, and which is free. But if you want to do more with M365, like you want to create complete sales pitch PPT with your existing PPT document, and you want to leverage, create your own document with the existing content, or do more operations within that, then you need to pay $30 per month per user. Okay? And it uses the graph capability to do all the stuff. So it is licensed that way, and it is per user license, not the whole organization. But you should have minimum M365 license also. So you should minimum have the M365. I think it should be three, I guess, or any M365 license would do, I guess. Yeah. So on top of M365 license, you should buy $30 per user, and it works only for that particular user. So the next is about the Copilot Studio. Last time the Copilot Studio license was simple, but now they made it slightly complex. So you would see that Copilot Studio, it is charged as $200 per month, and it is 25,000 messages. And this Copilot Studio, you can use it to integrate with M365, use it to integrate with Teams and other stuff, the channels, unlimited channels, meaning whatever the channels which are there in the Microsoft, you can start using it. Okay. Channels meaning you create an agent and then you publish it into Teams, or publish into SharePoint, or publish into website, into your existing website. So all these things about. The second thing about Copilot Studio is that pay as you go. So the pay as you go license is more of how do you use the messages. Per message, it uses 1.01 messages. So that's how it works. So that is about the pay per use licenses. And M365, there is from the Copilot Studio, there is one more Copilot Studio license which integrates with M365 Copilot. That M365 Copilot is more of $30 per month. How it is different from the Microsoft Copilot Studio license 200 is that the M365 Copilot, for Copilot Studio, you can create an agent and publish only to Teams, or only through M365 environment. You cannot be publishing it to other environment. You can use only within M365. So that is the restriction. So this $30 is again, you should have a minimum of M365 license, E3E5, those licenses, and on top, $30 per user per month. Okay. Yeah. So that's how it is being charged. Azure AI Foundry, completely the AI Foundry is nothing but the workspace. You can open it. It comes along with the Azure subscription. You should have a minimum Azure subscription. Then you can use the OpenAI Azure AI Foundry. On top of it, they have a model catalog. It is charged based on the model you are using. So, example, if you want to make use of GPT 3.0 model, then for that particular model, there is a charge for the number of tokens used. So based on the number of tokens, this has been charged. So assume that you are using 10,000 token, 20,000 token. First 10,000 might be free, but the more and more token you start to use, they charge based on the token. That's how these services are used. Then again, GitHub licenses. So the GitHub license, individual license, if you are buying for you, the pro license, it is $10 per month. And if you want to use it for a business, it is $19. So difference between the individual and the business, it is about the feature. So for a $10 license, there will be a limitation on the number of connectors you have. Like it can connect connector and the extensions. So personal individual might not connect to any of the business related connections or the extensions. So if you use a business, it can enterprise connected to different extensions, the enterprise connectors. So it will have more visibility. Enterprise, $39, it is unlimited. So meaning that you can use unlimited messages, unlimited languages. So connections and the extensibility are connectors, everything is unlimited. So also, I don't know whether enterprise is bounded to number of users, but individual is particular to only one user, $10. Enterprise, I'm not sure. Maybe you should check. So, but the features are open and it's like unlimited to most of the features. Bing AI, which is a normal copilot, free. The free one has a limitation of number of searches, and you can add $7 per month per user, and it gives you 25,000 search. That's how they charge into the Bing. Next, Dynamics 365 depends on your product which you are using. Then it is being charged based on that. So, Sales Pro is 65, and Sales Enterprise, all these are listed here. So this is about the overall about the licensing and other license. There are other copilots which are there, but these are the major one which Microsoft tries to sell. And speaking about the Bing Copilot, this is one of my Copilot, everyday Copilot, which I use it for everything, for travel planning, programming, trying to find out some solutions, architecture, identify. So it's day to day kind of a companion every day. It also has a mobile app. It integrates with your live ID, and whatever you search, it is synchronizing between the mobile and your desktop. And also it can automate few of the activities within your Windows as well. So it comes with quite handy and Copilot. Um, the one thing which makes you to use the Bing Copilot or the Copilot is that every time when you search, there are points allocated to you, and you get to get more points. The more points you get, the more money you can cash in. So assume that if you are using the Copilot and the search along with that, not the Google search, the Bing search. Bing search with the Copilot, if you start using it, this is the calculation. So you can earn up to 5 points per search. So per search, when you do, it's 5 points. And daily, there is a cap which is 150 points. And if you are searching within the mobile and the PC, there is a difference. So if you are searching by the mobile, then it is 60 points. And if it is PC, then there is a slightly less point. So per day, assume that you can easily reach 150 points. Because every day, if you use, instead of Google, if you use the Bing and the Copilot, then you can easily reach that. And monthly, what is your potential? So maximum you can reach around 6,300 points. Okay, that is about the search. 6,300 points you can easily reach if you make your Bing as your primary plus the Copilot. And what is the conversion rate? So approximately, if you see here, 8,715 points, if you can redeem $10 gift per month. So if you keep searching and using Copilot, you can get a $10 gift. Okay, 6,300 point, it is around 7.2. You get a Starbucks coffee around. I mean, just by searching every day in the Bing, you get to have some Starbucks coffee in a month. Okay, let's do some demo. Let me switch to my screen so that I can do some demo. Okay, so I just want to show my Bing reward. So you can see here, if you want to redeem a Bing reward, then you can have several options. So you can the reward gives you all these as well. The Amazon, so whatever. The back in Singapore, you can use it for cold storage, Best Dengi, or Grab. Grab is similar to the Uber. You can get a Uber credit as well. So that's how it is. Let's switch to the studio. Okay. Basically, this is the Copilot Studio. I don't want to go through all the basics because there are tons of documentation or the YouTube channel speaking about Copilot Studio. So basically, you create a multiple agents. So basically, you create multiple agents here. I have several agents. I just want to demo one of the agent, which is Cortana. Basically, this is nothing but this agent is nothing but is a car related agent. what I did is that I went online and downloaded the European car database model, which is a free database which is available. So this Excel is a free Excel you can download in the car database, which lists down all the Euro car models with every detail. Like you can see here on top, model, engine number, chassis, passenger. It's very comprehensive. You can see every detail about the car only in Europe. Okay, this is pretty much the old database again, but it works out. So I uploaded this as one of the knowledge for this Copilot. You can see here, you can upload as one of the Excel, then it is ready for answering your question. So what I can do is that I can just pick uh, one of the ID or car name, then I can keep asking question. So I just pick up one of the ID and just say ID. Then I ask detail about that ID. What it does is Copilot will start to answer. This is a simple one, but I want to demo this. Why? Because later I show you what you can do. Okay. You can see here when I just ask for this ID, it goes into the Excel and it throws out just the information in a text. Basically, the uh, content generated AI. So it generates the content. That's it. But you can format your content in this nicer way. If you really want to have a very nicer format, Copilot Studio also has a ability to do these nicer format. So I want to demo this feature which are available. You can make it more intuitive. So basically there is a option called adaptive card. You can see here in the media, I have added the adaptive card. This adaptive card is nothing but the JSON. Okay, so this you can see here, this is the one. Let me use it here. So you can see here, this is the one. So this is the one. Okay, the image. So okay, so this is the image basically. This is nothing but JSON. So you have to format your JSON and specify your output. So in my case, what I did is that whatever the value it is thrown, I'm storing into the variable, which is the car URL. The car URL comes from this Excel. I'm saving it. Then it goes in there. Then you can format your own way. So you specify the column width and text block. So all these details. So again, the topic.car details is nothing but the details which you get it from here. Okay. So this same detail, I'm just adding it in this way. Okay. That's how it goes. So this is a simple demo, but want to show the essence of Copilot Studio, what it can do. So next one I want to show is the Azure OpenAI demo. So this is again a very simple same demo. This scenario is very intense. So this intense scenario is nothing but assume that you already have a data warehouse which are stored in SQL, and you want to write a AI program to predict your sales, or you want to generate any report on the runtime. Uh, so you can use this one. So basically, you can speak in English to your SQL data or MySQL data or any data which is. So basically, in this sample, you can see here, I'm connecting to my SQL. So I have imported the SQL AdventureWorks database, and I configured a ChatGPT model using Azure AI Foundry, and I'm asking questions to the SQL. So behind the scene, I have written a Python code, and this Python code is readily available in GitHub from Microsoft as well. You can even download and then just publish it. And the Python code, what it does is it uses the LangChain to convert your English language into your SQL query at the scenario behind. Then it automatically creates this chart, and this chart is drawn by the Streamlight. There is a separate library called Streamlight integrates with Python. So when I ask questions like show me net revenue by year, it basically the AI knows that there is a table called revenue. There is like it does automatically for you most of the time. So 90% it works. So for example, if I want to ask any questions like what is the impact of discount on sales, and if I give a discount, okay, hopefully it works. Sometime I might get the token error. So basically what it does now is that it goes to the database and then it identifies all the table. It knows what table to get. Okay, see here, it tells you to answer this question, I'll have to go to this table. So make sure that these table within your database is meaningful. So you cannot be having underscore some different name. The AI knows what table it goes to. So it identifies first sales and the discount, and within the sales and discount, it identifies what are the discount prices given, and from that discount prices, it identifies okay, so whether this discount really makes sense. Okay, and it predicts it. See here, it draws the chart on its own, and finally it tells you the answer, the original answer, saying that hey, so that's how if you give a discount of 0.02 and zero point 0.2, then you see some high sale. Don't give too much of a discount, then you will not get any sales. Okay, something which is a future prediction, which is more of a predictive model. So it also does that, and it is, and this chart is dynamic. I have not configured to draw this chart. AI knows that it has to do the line chart based on your data, and this chart is drawn by the Streamlight library, meaning that provider data, then the Streamlight library is capable of creating a good graphical chart and gives all these features. And the whole code is done in the Python, and this code is deployed to Azure App Services as a simple web app, and everything is in Azure. So the whole program is in Azure. It is integrated with AAD login. So this website is need you to log in because it uses several other detail as well. Okay, and similarly you can even ask English questions here, and you can speak to your SQL data. You don't have to create multiple reports and publish it. Just create this chat and publish it over the organization. So imagine the CXO level people. You have assume that your data warehousing is proper and your naming conventions are good and published in and massaged and the data is in the right format. Give it to the CXO people, level of people, to just chat with the data. So they can chat anything with English, and it gives you the chart and other stuff, almost 80 to 90% accurate. Then your job is done. You don't have to keep publishing the data every month. Sorry, keep publishing the reports, generating reports, and all those stuff. Okay, this is the hardcore AI programming with AI Foundry. Yeah. So that's about AI Foundry demo. Then thank you. Okay, that's all from my side.
Okay, thank you, Senthamil. That was great. We do have one question on the chat. How M365 Copilot architecture is different than other copilots available in Microsoft ecosystem?
How M365?
How
Uh,
M365 Copilot
okay.
architecture is different than other copilots available in Microsoft ecosystem?
Okay. So um, M365 Copilot architecture is nothing but the Copilot architecture, meaning that every Copilot within the Microsoft goes through that Graph API. That's how they do the grounding plus the contextual data. There is not much of a difference. Uh, the only difference you would see that is is at the top level. So meaning, assume that you have a Power Platform Copilot. So the Copilot still goes through the Graph API to get all the details within the Power Platform information. Instead it goes to the Word document, Excel, and other stuff. It might directly it knows that through the prompt. Through the prompt, it knows that it has to deal only with the Power Platform. Then it directly goes to the Dataverse and the Power Platform environment. That's the only difference. Other than that, the whole architecture, there is not much of a difference. So it still uses the same architecture. Hope it and I can answer. I have answered.
Yes. Okay. And Pawan, if you have any further questions, you can type it on the chat, or you can reach out to Senthamil separately. And I have shared his LinkedIn on the chat, so you can connect with him here. Okay, all right. So, everybody, that was Senthamil Selvan. Once again, thank you so much, Senthamil, for taking the time and talk about this interesting topic about AI and Azure Foundry. So, thank you so much for coming here today.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then we can move on. So, our next speaker is Abhilekh Verma. He is a Microsoft MVP in AI, and today he's going to talk about advanced Microsoft 365 mastery and how you can elevate your productivity. So, hey Abhilekh, welcome to Hyderabad Power Platform User Group.
Hey, hi Ritika. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Yash, as well. Thanks for having
Uh,
me.
I think I'm not able to hear you. One second.
Am I audible now?
No, I think something's wrong. Wait, is it just me or
I can hear.
okay, you can hear him? Probably then it's just me. Give me a second, I'll adjust my headphones.
Sure.
All right, I think I can hear you now. So once again, welcome Abhilekh here to Hyderabad Power Platform User Group.
Thank you, Ritika. Thank you, Yash, for having me. And yeah, great session, Senthamil. I mean, it's always a pleasure to have him, deliver as lectures. So we met at Microsoft Malaysia. I'm just traveling now to Malaysia as well again. We'll
Oh,
hopefully catch up
nice.
with him in Singapore as well for GTEx. So glad to know that he also delivered a great lecture with the Power Platform, specifically with Copilot, because I mean, I use it a lot on a day-to-day basis. I think the reward section is really useful, as he has mentioned. So definitely will
Mhm.
use that as well. So yeah, I mean, thanks everyone for joining in, and great to see. I think a lot of audience on YouTube. I'm also checking on the sites, the comments. So great to see like everyone is online. So I'll just quickly get started. With my topic. Let me know if you can see my screen. I'll try to present my screen. I guess should be visible.
Um, yes, Abhilekh, we can see your screen.
Perfect. Great. So yeah, I mean, this is all remote, but yeah, I really love, both physical and lectures online. So this is me, Abhilekh, and I am really happy to deliver lecture specifically with Microsoft 365 Mastery. So I'll talk more on the sense of how I use Power BI tools on a day-to-day basis, and also the different Power platforms, how you can advance your, information specifically, because we have a lot of data, right. So this is just a brief about me. I'll not take much time to share this, but just give an overview of what I do. So I run a technical edtech startup based out of Hyderabad. I've been also one of the personal branding coach certified from Singapore, and also been one of the top 3% most active speakers for Sessionize, in the last year. My corporate experience is around 10 years, being last with KPMG Gurgaon, and currently I am doing more trainings across AI. I've done a lot of lectures across IoT, Salesforce along with that, and sales coaching. Luckily, I've recently received the Copilot Innovation Award from Microsoft Netherlands and Vortel. I've done a lot of scholarship trips with Singapore and Korean government. Been a speaker at multiple locations, and there are around 24 companies where I'm currently spending my time mentoring and helping different startups more in the equation of go-to-market strategy, sales, and marketing. And yeah, I mean, it's a pleasure to be here. So let's just quickly get started. If you want to scan my code, you can scan, or you can just search me on LinkedIn if you would like to connect with me. Now, yeah, I mean, before we start, I just wanted to give you a brief about what we're going to cover today. So, I'm going to show you a live kind of a scenario where I have actually implemented, something related with IoT and AI with the help of Power BI tool. So, before that, I mean, obviously, if you could reply in the chat, I'll anyways look into it. So, I'm sure everyone of us uses on a day-to-day basis wearable health devices, right? I mean, think about like from the past time where we used to get the basic details of maybe monitoring our heart to something like checking calorie count and things like that. So I've also used it on an aggressive level, and believe me, there are around 12 different insurance companies right now which I have reached out, and they have really shown interest of working with these healthcare devices, where actually it is helping them to get the right reimbursement for the right candidate on time, which is the real time health data, right? Which is what I am talking about, adding that layer of personalized policies and risk assessment and things like that. We're going to show that as well about how I used my own data and passed this to an insurance company and how they actually really liked it and they started implementing it. So we're going to cover that as well. But I mean, I'm sure like we are really fond of different tech devices, specifically the wearable devices. Now when I talk about, let's just say, moving on a little side by side on one of my favorite areas, which is about IoT and Gen AI. I mean, one of the use cases which would have really not known until I would have actually started to use it was, obviously, tomorrow we want to get insurance claims on time. We want to ensure from an insurance point of view company that there's no fraud, right? So there has to be some kind of claims automation in place and things like that. So this was how beautifully the AI and IoT technology is doing right now. I mean, you can just think about all the data which is being present there, and believe me, with Power BI and different Power Platform tools, it becomes so easy for me to talk to the different companies and get some advice of how these things can be implemented on real time basis. I'm also working closely with the Singapore government, very specifically in terms of implementing this as well. Because again, there's also a lot of people I see in Singapore really fit, and if you actually go to Singapore any time of the day, you'll find people walking and running, right? So this is a very interesting solution which is actually being working on the market. Now talking about an company which actually implemented much faster than any other company in the world. It's called Pingan, and I guess this company actually used this to ensure that there is a faster policy issuance, which is 50%, and it actually led to 30% fewer fraud cases, right? So they were able to detect using AI in terms of that, right? Moving to like a quick demo which I have, considering time, I'll just show you some brief instances of how this kind of solutions is being implemented using Power BI, and how you can also start getting all this kind of data. It's pretty easy because currently with the variables, you can get live data, you can simulate it. So I use different tools to get the data, right? If you want to learn machine learning, you can use MATLAB, right, and other tools as well if you want to utilize it, right? So I'm just going to show you a live different use case. I'm sure you would have understood this before, but I'm just going to show it on a real time basis. So if you can see, this is an Excel sheet which actually shows like every minute how my heart rate has increased or decreased based upon whatever intensity is my walking, or let's just say jogging speed, right? And this is the calories which I'm burning. As you can see with the heart rate, the calories is increasing, and then obviously you can see this is the maximum I've reached over the calorie, and these are the number of steps, right? This is the sample data I've taken. This is the burn rate, how much I've got, and this is the heart rate intensity. Now what are the parameters we used to capture to prepare the Power BI data? Is line chart, I mean, which is heart rate over time versus steps over time. There's bar chart, which is calories burned over time, and then who are the key influencers, I mean, what is actually impacting my calorie, right? Then there's a decomposition tree, forecasting and clustering. So let's not go much deeper. I just love to show it on a real time Power BI dashboard. So you can see here, like, it's pretty easy to do. If someone is really learning Power BI, I would really want them to start with this visualization tools. It's so amazing. I mean, believe me, if you're really new, you can really play around with this. So you can see here, like, the same thing which I showed you on Excel sheet. It looks a little bit more cleaner. As you can see, like, every minute the heart rate is increasing, and then obviously it is showing me the sum of my heart rate over time. Even the same thing we can do with the calories. As you can see, like, how the calories have been burned, starting with 0 to 145, in few minutes. And then obviously what are the influencing areas which is actually impacting my calories, which is actually increasing, right? So let us just quickly see how the analysis comes. So you can see like my sum of steps goes up to 327.08 based on the average calories burned, which is 18.14. Right, so you can just see how this is increasing with my food steps increasing, and this is how the chart shows. You can also check different segments if you want. You can also talk about decomposition tree, right? So you can see the breakdown of my calorie based upon how much I am burning, how many steps I am taking, as you have seen, with the maximum number of steps I have taken versus how many calories I am burning, and then how my heart rate. So it's so amazing to see all this dashboard. With the 365 mastery, what I would recommend is just make an Excel sheet and then let Power BI do the rest, right? I mean, in terms of pulling down different data reports and things like that. And there's many, I mean, you can do over time, with this. So there's multiple different use cases you can make, right? You can see this is steps over time, how it has increased, reached to the peak of 1050, right? And the next part, the most important, what I really like is you can also do clustering, right? You can probably make the sum of steps, your heart rate, let's just say calories burned, and things like that. So you can actually literally play with this, and you can create as many dashboards with the help of visualizations. The reason I wanted to highlight this is not very advanced. This is just the basic level, but then everyone should start using Power BI. This really gives you a better, and believe me, I've got some good government contracts with the help of Power BI. So I just wanted to show this real quick, on the basis of that. Now let's just talk about how this is impacting the future trends. I mean, I'm going to share a use case here, like in terms of not just health data, but let's just say how blockchain is also getting impacted. So think about, now there are some actors who want to, use digital likeness model of them. Maybe tomorrow Akshay Kumar feels he cannot travel to Canada, and he wants to do more movies. He wants to take up more assignments, along with Netflix and Amazon Prime. So he gives an approval for his digital likeness model, which is going to follow the way how he acts, the way how he speaks, the way how he talks, and that model can use fine tuning, which can actually replicate like him. So maybe he can accept more assignments without traveling to another location. From a production house's point of view, they're going to save a lot of money, because him and his himself crew, right, their entire crew don't travel, right? So there's a lot of cost they can save. So this is one project I am working closely in terms of real time with one of the NGOs, and it's going perfectly well. And I believe like there's a lot of power platforms which I am using to get a lot of data, because there's so much data around there, which is really helping, right? And in different Southeast Asian countries, there are also predictive analytics I'm working, where we are trying to find early disease detection, right? So it could be in terms of different thing. It could be heart failure, it could be cancer, or different kind of important things, which I guess people generally come to know at a later stage, right? So this is how Power BI and Power Platform is really helping me to speed up things. Right, this I have already discussed. We like to skip this. This is more on the insurance side. These are some of the conferences which I do in different places. This is triple IT, so I really like to conversate with a lot of students. So if there are any students looking for internship jobs, do reach out to me. I am happy to recommend in that way as well. This was way with Microsoft Dubai. They also do sustainability, right? So there was a way to see air to water approach. This is Burj Khalifa. This is how AI is really changing things. Imagine you becoming a tea vendor, and making a lot of money, just like how you would have seen Dolly Chaiwala making it at IPL, right? So this is, by the way, gold souk market in Dubai, right? So this is how AI is really impacting, and with help of such tools, we can really create things in much faster way. Right, this is how future looks like. So AI tools also helps us to see the future, but there's one thing I wanted to highlight, that AI is also going to make mistakes. So as you can see in this photo, like I'm not wearing specs, but just because the other two gentlemen are wearing specs, it is assumed that I should also wear specs in the future. Right, so AI is also going to get make mistakes. I've seen it live. This was in Korea. So I remember, like telling people, whatever prompts you're giving, make sure you try to behave with your AI as a companion, and give them more prompts, give them more kind of personalized personas, so they understand you better, because AI is also going to make mistakes. Right now, Coming back to how do we automate different tasks with Power Automate, I guess one of the key things, it generally happens when you're working in a company, right? You need approval at different levels. So you can actually create some kind of a workflow which can help you to get different triggers and actions. So this will obviously save your manual effort versus, let's just say, you sending an email, or let's just say, you are just informing someone about some kind of approval. So this generally streamlines the processes and enhances overall product. So I'm just shown a screenshot. I hope it is visible. So basically, you can probably create a quick automating task. This is like a shortcut I see, like in terms of getting approvals and things like that. And obviously, you can share SharePoint and different files in between. If you feel like there has to be something they have to go and review. So this is just a sample of how you can create a quick task with Power Automate. Right. I mean, we have already seen how Power BI can be really useful. A lot of us still face challenge with pivot tables and VLOOKUP, but these are some important things which is still available with different extensions, right? So you can use them, and you can actually do a lot of analysis. I mean, I believe I do a lot of pie charts, right, for some kind of trainings and stuff like that, right? So you can actually get. So I worked aggressively in sales for 10 years, and then there's a lot of data I used to get every quarter for the targets which my team is making, or let's just say, like goals versus achievement. Right. So leveraging this kind of advanced formulas can actually, help those large data sets getting sorted much faster. Right. And obviously, from a management point of view, they can actually see these insights, and it is be more accessible. You can just click a button of, and then they can actually get that access. So I'm not going to go much detail about showing this on a Power BI dashboard, but I'm just going to give you a gist about that, about how this is so important, because if you really master these two tools, it can be a lot of time savior, because that is what is most important right now. I mean, there's a lot of features. I am sure a lot of us have used this, like mentioning or tagging people. I think this is like one of my favorite feature I have been using since several years in Excel or PowerPoint as well. So you can actually, tag people. So when I am collaborating with, let's say, larger teams, maybe there are like 10 to 15 people who want to collaborate with me, and I really don't want them to actually, keep checking their mails or teams or things like that. So I just use at the rate, and I can just comment quickly on a real time feedback. And this really helps me to make sure that at every version of click, at each time, I can see what is being commented, what is being implemented. They can select, they can mark it as complete. And also, as you see, you have an option to attaching a copy. So you can also attach any Excel workbook or a PDF file as well for approvals or things like that, if you feel like you want to do that. So co-authoring is one of my favorite thing. I use it in Excel and PowerPoint. I guess this is very useful because multiple users can work on a document simultaneously, right? And it does save a lot of time that way. Now, in terms of data insights, I guess I think Senthamil was mentioning a lot of data, is publicly available, which is really interesting. I mean, if you just see different government and departments in different part of the world, we have the data freely available. I remember doing a freelance project where it was for a European client, where they wanted this specifically fashion member websites. So think about, like, you have a membership website. So basically, I want to see maybe a dress. Okay, so I want to see the entire description of the dress, or what are the features of the dress. But since it is a membership website, I want to ensure that I have my email ID set up, and maybe there might be a payment those website might ask to get the access. So there are some websites where I've worked, and we had to put our email ID and get those. But then once you get that, you can put it on a Power BI dashboard. So I was able to do one project where I was able to show to this European client about how many fashion member websites are there in the Europe. There were around 3,000 fashion member websites, and we were able to get them some relevant data, which was actually very useful for them to show it to their stakeholders. So basically, they wanted this data because they wanted to maybe do some marketing services for the e-commerce website. So we wanted to find also, some players around who actually run this e-commerce website, the admins mostly, right? Some kind of services they can do for these websites and things like that. So you can see how amazing it is with the colors. You can play around. You can make some interesting analysis, and obviously you can get it in a button of click. It's so easy to learn, and it's a very interesting. So I think, yeah, Power BI for data insights is also one of the interesting tool you should look into, depending upon what use case, which industry you're catering to. Now, I mean, I don't want to talk about Outlook. I mean, we are on Outlook round the clock, right? I mean, the push notification you get when it comes to effective communication from your superiors, from your juniors, right? So Outlook's already providing us a lot of features in terms of all those notifications for calendars, emails, tasks, right? I remember, like, there were a lot of emails I had to read, and then I had to make different shortcut folders to ensure that if, let's just say, it's coming from a manager, it goes to that relevant folder. But that is all old now. I mean, it's not just about getting specific folders, about utilizing those categories and things like that. You can also set some incoming emails rules as well, right? So you can also automate it much better, right? Think about, like, you have a keyword in mind and you feel like, okay, I can give an example for my instance. Okay, so I get selected as a public speaker in different countries. Okay, so I've set a specific incoming email saying, something related with a selection word, okay, or let's just say with award word. So whenever I get an email with those kind of keywords, I get a push notification, and I can literally go and see, because on an average basis we get a lot of emails, right? You don't want to miss those emails. So that's also something you can do if you want to set up. If you feel like there's some important emails you want to receive from XYZ person, or there's some specific keywords which you feel you want to make sure it's always automated, you get some push notifications, so you can do that with Outlook. I mean, Outlook is a really interesting tool. I remember using it since 2008, so I've been using it since several years, but there's so many new features Outlook comes up with, and that is really interesting. And I think with MVP we also get a lot of benefits with different accounts to use. So it's also very useful for us to see both, let's say, simple personal account versus, let's say, an enterprise account. So yeah, I mean, do apply for MVP roles as well. Do reach out to all of us if you are interested to become an MVP in Power Platform or AI and things like that. Now, there are also some advanced feature. This is like something we already know, but I mean, just in case if you don't know. So I remember I had to probably set up a meeting with one of the partners of a big four, and I felt like, okay, I mean, should I email him, should I ask him when is his availability, what to do and things like that. Then I discovered there's something called as a calendar, which I can put his name if he has made it public, and I can see which are the time slots he's available, which are the time slots he's free. So I can myself manually go and probably select whichever time is showing on the calendar free. So think about, let's just say, if I see, okay, 12 p.m. is one of the slot which I see on Monday, he's free, right? So I can just click this and send him an invite, rather than just pinging him on Teams, or let's just say asking him on an email, whether he's available or not. So I was able to book a meeting with one of the partners, and it was so easy for me because the calendar was easily accessible. So you can just go into the meeting tab and use the scheduling assistant, as you can see here. So you can use the scheduling assistant, and it will help you to see when your superior or your junior is available, and you can actually see the common availability time. You can also see, like, they can mention something like, let's just say, it's outside of their working hours, it is tentative, they are busy, they're out of office, or they are working elsewhere. So there are multiple options you can also give to your calendar with Outlook advanced features like this. And basically everything can be integrated. You can also attach any file if you want to review along with them, or if you feel there's something very important, you can send it as with high importance. So there's so many interesting things you can play around with this scheduling assistant. And believe me, this is also very useful, because when we had to book rooms, we also wanted to check, like, so if you're booking a conference room per se, you can also invite them and put it under the scheduling assistant. So let's just say I want to book a conference room, I can also see which are the slots available to book the conference room. So think about, you want to book a conference room in XYZ city, and you feel like this tool can actually help you to see which are the slots available, as long as it's publicly shown, right? So you can actually see, and you can probably book a slot, or you can book a conference room for your entire team, right? So that's how beautiful this team is, this specific feature of Outlook is, which you can use, and you can actually see if there are any no conflicts or is there anything. So it has happened with me, like, someone has booked, let's just say, conference room in advance, and I was also looking for that same conference room. So what generally happens is I reach out to see who has booked it. I can see their name. I search the email ID because they are in the same company, so I get it through their names, and then I reach out saying like, look, I also needed at that time, so can we adjust maybe half an hour here and there? And sometimes it really worked out as well. So think about like the benefits of finding this through scheduling assistant. Who has booked the conference room, and tomorrow if you feel like, okay, you also need similar timeline, you can also work around with them, because you can request and things like that, right? Because I've seen there are a lot of executives, they book the entire, let's just say, conference room for the entire day, right? So then obviously, the management has to see why it is like that and things like that. But there's always a way how you can approach and get their details. So I can suggest this is a interesting feature. If you have not used, please try use it. If you're using, fantastic. This is, I think, for task management. I think we have used it in the past as well, like to create different, I mean, Microsoft is coming with different kind of task management tools, when I see in past 5 years or 6 years, right? But at the benefit, what I see is it's synced across my devices. You have iPad, you have MacBook, you have, let's just say, iPhone. So it will be synced across all your devices. So whenever you're on the cloud, you can actually manage, you can set due dates, right? And you can prioritize each of the tasks. You can make that to-do list, and you can just integrate with your entire Outlook. So one extra feature is what I generally see is obviously prioritizing the work, because obviously, just like you have Trello and Asana, which I use aggressively, for project management. So here also you can just prioritize tasks and send notifications, which can really make sure that you don't miss a deadline. So you can mark it with a high importance and things like that. But again, this is really interesting, because if you are actually like working with a lot of people, and like getting to know about what are the projects they are working and things like that, so you can use this for multiple reasons and things like that. And it is much faster to get a notification using this task management solution, right? Next is, let's just say, when we are talking about team projects, right? So planner is one of the feature I've used in the past. So let's just say, you want to see visually, what are people doing and things like that, right? It's just like tracking the progress in real time, right? So it is all about visibility, because as you can see on the screen, like, people are working on multiple things, they have a deadline, and you want to, so depending upon which segment you're working in. I've worked in pre-sales and sales both. So there were times when I had to talk to marketing, to product teams, for design and things like that. So yeah, depending upon whichever like segment you're working, if you're working with the IT, if you're working very specifically with the HR, so based upon that, you can have this visual dashboard, and you can create different charts, you can create different kind of visual and intuitive effects, which can really make it more like a real time basis. And this actually can also save a lot of your time, because ultimately this is going to be very handy, and this is something, an interesting thing which I really wanted to highlight. Now, I'm not sure how many of you use it, but I mean, on a daily basis, I know if you're an organizer of an event, this is super important tool, which is Microsoft Forms, right? And the good part is you can open it in an Excel file as well. You can save it in multiple formats, right? So this has been a really good technique to collect feedback from team members. It can actually improve your processes and outputs, right? And then obviously you can analyze different responses within the forms, right? I mean, I've been using Survey Monkey, or let's say Google Forms as well. But with Microsoft Forms, I find it a little more advantage, because obviously I get more different variety of templates already inbuilt. Luckily, now we are also implementing AI into the picture. So with AI, I think we can do a lot of things. So if you use some other add-ons, that also helps on. And then obviously, if you are doing a training, or let's just say if you're organizing an event, the value of Microsoft Form. I mean, it is very useful. And also, like, if you're delivering a lecture and you need real time feedback from people out there, so you can quickly give them the form and they can really fill it. And it's so easy to use, it's not that tough. You can obviously get, and all this data is on a real time basis, so it's on cloud. So that's what I really like about Microsoft. You can really get all those things in a button of click. Now, I think, I'm not going to talk much more detail about this, but again, there are a lot of multi-factor authentication different formats available with Microsoft. I mean, like if you're working in corporate, you have two different profiles, right? You have Intune, Microsoft Intune, right, which actually gives you all the benefits of making your data secured. And then there's your personal profile, which is different, right? So in your mobile phone, when you're working in corporate, you get both the profiles, where you can segregate which are the apps which is for your corporate, which are the apps which is for your personal, right? So that multi-factor authentication features is really useful for 365, because it really helps me with identity and access management. I mean, from an IT perspective, I can say the IT admin is really happy to see if there's any kind of threats. You might have received a lot of emails with phishing attacks, right? Now, with think about like companies like OPM and all, they probably send you a message saying something is urgent, buy them a gift card, and all those kind of scams. So you really have to be careful of not replying to those emails, which is very common right now coming in. But it does come to more to personal profiles, not to the enterprise accounts, which has a two-layer approach. So it goes to the IT, and then the IT can obviously disregard the email, because you might have seen, like, sometimes it also bypasses. So your networking has to be really strong in terms of the security aspect. Even companies like Cisco and all, they have been working very hard to come up with different kind of solutions, so that it is much more authenticated. And believe me, like, this is a bigger threat and a problem if there's any kind of challenge, in terms of any of those kind of information protection technologies and tools. So it's something really important. And I mean, you can also look up to different tools which are there for your security, but I think these are some of the common which we generally use on a day to day basis for our office premises. Now, this is not something to be discussed, let's just say, in detail, but it's just that a lot of us use on a day-to-day basis. I just thought to put this on the slide as well. I mean, obviously, I need some great background, I need some great user experience, right? I mean, think about, I mean, I need a smiley face, let's just say, because I've been working several hours, so I need to relax and rest. So your background also really matters. You can customize a lot of things. There's a lot of keyboard shortcuts, if you don't know yet, which can actually speed up your workflow. Right, so you can see there are different add-ins available right now in Windows, so you can use it, and you can obviously make sure you can personalize your settings, right? So you can do it with your laptop with Microsoft 365 or different other personalized settings you can do. You can improve your user experience by adding those themes, right? And this really can speed up your workflow, because a good theme, a good background really helps when you're indulging through a lot of multiple areas in a specific day, right? And then, yeah, the world is really moving fast. I mean, technology is super fast, as you can see on the screen, right? I mean, we really need to be at par with the technology, right? In terms of reaching people, and in terms of like doing projects and things like that, right? So I've been really working on different areas, but then still I feel there's some other country who's doing much better than us, and there's so many information around there, traveling across to know understand about different markets, right? I can give an example, like how China has really built solutions in 2016, where they use hand to do payments, in shopping malls as well as places with WeChat. They also have features like like you can use your hand to increase your loan CIBIL score and things like what we have in India, right? So similar like that, you can increase your loan, you can just on a button of click. So there's always a country which I'm really amazed to see, and I'm looking forward to learn with that as well. There are some of my fantastic AI tools I wanted to recommend. I will anyways send across to the Hyderabad Power Platform team with this link. So these has some free extensions, or I can say some free referral code, so you can use it for, let's just say, Figma is free for 6 months, right? Fireflies is also there. Pictory AI is my favorite tool. I think I also use a lot of tools for automating for videos, so you can also use different tools with that. ChatGPT 4.0 has one extension called Superpower ChatGPT. That is something I really like. And if you're a really freak like me who loves writing emails, doing a lot of writing workflows, I would recommend Copy AI. This is my favorite tool. So this tool, anyways, I'll send. These are like I wanted to actually list as much as possible, but these are my favorites, which I use on a day-to-day basis. Like, let's just say, doing PowerPoint presentations to probably using AI to get more things done in less time. Let's just say I can use a voice generator, and it can actually send me an email to a prospect and get them interested for my services. right? So I use different kind of solutions. Then obviously, if you want to use something for interview aspect, if you want to use AI interviewer, there's talently.ai, which I use. Right, so there's so many tools out there here, right, which you can use, and you can make, or you can save your time. I think there's also income you can generate if you really master tools. You can be an influencer for them and things like that. I'm doing it right now for 4 or 5 companies out there where I'm promoting their tools. So if you really have a good social media, you can also promote them. That's how AI is right now. Right, and these are my favorite chat GPT prompts. I'll just quickly show it before I probably give you some information. So let me just see if I can open this. Yeah, so these are, by the way, this prompts for marketers. So think about, let's just say, if you are like working across let's just say in terms of different data, right? So let's just say if you're actually thinking about like doing a lot of work in terms of different people, different things like that, right? So I'm just going to show you this. I'm sure my screen should be visible. By the way, I use this tool which actually helps me to connect my WhatsApp, you can see Slack, right, Discord and Zoom together. Right, so there are multiple tools I have anyways mentioned in that list, so you can see this. So these are my favorite some prompts with AI. As you can see, like, let's just say tomorrow, if we want to do some data analytics prompts, we want to specifically you let's just say do something very relevant to our profile. So based upon whatever industry you're working in, you need a specific prompt to send it across to people. Let's just say you want to develop a training model on Power BI tool to upskill employees, right? So there are some ready-made different prompts which you can use depending upon whichever industry or whichever use case you have. These are like ready-made prompts, and these are my favorite, which I use. Just select this and copy and paste it on any AI tool, not just ChatGPT. You can do it in Copilot, you can do it in DeepSeek, you can do anywhere. So when you actually just use this is really a shortcut. And regardless if you're from a programming background, or let's just say you're a non-coder, so based upon that, you can use this tool. These are like fantastic tools which you can use. So I use a lot depending upon what you want, right? So yeah, I mean, Notion, if you need like 6 months access, let me know. I'll anyways put it in the PPT with a code. So if you want 6 months access to Notion, they have a premium account as well. This is also very fantastic. You can just see how beautifully they have just put it on the website. So based upon whatever you want, you can actually see, you can actually share this across to a lot of people. This is how Notion website works. Right, so based upon whatever is your interest area, let's just say for me, this is one of my interesting area which I really use the prompts for. So let's just say I want to do more on lead generation. So I feel like, okay, what should be the prompt in my mind, what should I use? So let's just say I have a currently a email subscriber list of, let's just say, 3,600 people, and I want to increase it. Okay, so next year I want to maybe make it 10,000, maybe I want to make it 20,000. So I just use this prompt, and it will give me ideas of how to increase my email subscriber list. Similarly, if I want to build a training program which is for onboarding and skills development, I can use it. So there's a lot of areas which you can use, and you can quickly go and shortlist this to do this, right? This is fantastic because this is really shortcut. What I see, just copy this and paste it. That's it, you have to do. So there's a lot I can go on in terms of sharing accessibility, but I mean, these are my favorite which I use. So depending upon what you're doing, if you want to create a great video for your event, so you need some beautiful video marketing prompts, right? Let's just say right now we are doing it live on StreamYard, right? So you want to see what better tools you can use, or what better ways you can really engage audience, right, or do things. So you can see these are some great suggestions which you can use. And if you have data, I mean, obviously this can also do a lot of things. So there's so many different areas you can use it for. So it's not just for one generic persona of people, but it's like for everyone out there. We can actually use it on a day-to-day basis, and this is like what I really like. I think I really follow him. He has some good following on LinkedIn, and there's so many content he pushes around. So yeah, I mean, that is what I wanted to share. I wanted to be very precise, but if there's any questions, any doubts, I am happy to take. So that's all from my end, considering I just wanted to give a short presentation. So if there's anything else, let me know. Happy to share.
Um, okay, thank you, Abhilekh. I do not see any questions on the chat right now,
Yeah.
but since this is going to be available on YouTube, like our viewers, they can directly reach out to you in case of any questions.
Sure, that works absolutely.
Okay, sounds good. And your session was amazing. Thank you so much for showing the capabilities of different applications. I know nobody really talks about Outlook Copilot. So, just to create an awareness, to let people know how it all can be clubbed together and how it can impact you on a personal level. So, thank you so much for showing those topics as part of your session.
Thank you so much, Ritika. Thank you, Yash, for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye
With
bye.
that, yeah. Thank you all for joining us today. We will have another meetup in the next month. In the meanwhile, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to anybody, me, Yash. And also, if you would like to present a session in one of our coming meetups, you can reach out to us and we can accommodate you in one of the coming or the upcoming meetups. All right, then. Thank you so much, all. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. I'll talk to you next month. Bye bye.